this matter is before the court on a petition to establish parent-child relationship. The court is taking judicial notice of the court file. Note for the record that the child in this matter is going to be 5 years old this year. That there was service of citation in Bell County on Ms. Wheeler back on the 12th day of February of this year. And it appears that Mr. Swafford was served in Baytown, Texas, back on the 19th day of February of this year. So both parties have probably been noticed and served in conformity with the Texas Rules of Civil Procedure. So at this time, I ask the state for an opening to tell the court what the state's requesting we do here, what the state understands agreements and contests to be, and whether or not you're requesting this to be a temporary hearing or a final hearing, and whether or not the parties have agreed to paternity at this time. I don't see it was a non-paternity case, and I'm not sure if the parties are married one way or the other. So at this time, I'll let you go ahead and make that opening. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Both parties are present. I don't believe either party is requesting DNA at this point. I do believe both parties are in agreement with an order that has a joint managing conservator provision and also a standard possession order. Currently, the guideline support that the state calculated is $1,078, and that would be with Mr. Swafford carrying the insurance through his work at a cost of $350. I believe both parties agree that Mr. Swafford can carry the insurance, but Mr. Swafford does not agree with the guideline support amount. And Ms. Wheeler is requesting non-disclosure and have the exchange of the child happen at a public place, and for both parties to use app close.
All right, then let's go ahead and get some information. Is there a retroactive child support at play in this one also?
Your Honor, it was unclear from the notes, so I'd like to ask Ms. Wheeler and Mr. Swafford. I believe Mr. Swafford's testimony is going to be that he sends money directly, but I don't know if Ms. Wheeler is asking for retroactive support.
All right, then, folks. I'm getting just a second. Nobody's under oath yet, ma'am, so don't say anything. You'll be asked questions, and we'll get this set up in just a moment. But I'm gonna go ahead and swear both of you in, and I'll go ahead and get your testimony. So, Ms. Wheeler, I see you there. Mr. Swafford, are you there with audio and video, or just audio, sir?
Just audio. I was trying to start the video, sir.
All right, then. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get y'all sworn in, and then we'll go ahead and get the testimony, and I'll let you tell the court your side of the story. But here's the deal, Mr. Swafford. This is kind of like this is just like taxes. You may not like what the United States government takes out of your paycheck each month, but the law's the law. And the only way I can deviate or not do guideline child support in a case is unless there's some circumstances that allow me to do it, legal circumstances, and I find it's in the best interest of the child. Otherwise, the math's the math, sir. Again, it's just like taxes. I don't like how much they take out of my paycheck each month, but guess what? I don't complain too much because I don't like the IRS or military drones. Okay, good enough. So we'll see, sir. Anyway, at this time, I'm going to ask both of y'all to raise your right hands, and let's get some testimony. Do you both solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give here today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, you're both officially under oath, and I'm going to let the state call his witnesses at this time. Thank you. You may proceed, Ms. Hubbard. Thank you.
Thank you. The state would like to call Courtney Wheeler. Ma'am, please state your name for the record.
Courtney Wheeler.
And what's the name and birthday of the child that you have with Mr. Swafford?
Talia Swafford.
Okay. And at this time, you're not requesting DNA testing? Is that correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No.
As far as making decisions for the child, do you feel like you and Mr. Swafford can work together as far as being conservators and make decisions that are in Kalia's best interest?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so you would also be in agreement with a standard possession order that hopefully has been explained to you, but first, third, and fifth weekends of every month. Actually, you and Mr. Wheeler live a significant distance away from each other. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. And yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then it would be 1 week in a month, 30 days in the summer, with you being allowed to have a weekend during that time. Was that all explained to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you're in agreement with the standard possession order in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I have a question. 30 days
Okay,
in
ma'am.
summer, and how does holidays go? I'm writing it down so I won't forget.
It'll be in the order, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Yes, ma'am.
No worries, but just to answer your question very quickly, Mr. Swafford always gets Father's Day. You always get Mother's Day. Thanksgiving and Christmas alternate each year, with one party having Thanksgiving and the latter half of Christmas, and the other party having Christmas during that time, and then the next year it'll flip-flop.
Yes, ma'am.
And ma'am, he's also entitled to every spring break time frame. Even if the child's not in school yet, he's entitled to that based on the fact he lives more than 100 miles away. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now you have a concern and you'd like to exchange the child in a public place, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What concern do you have with Mr. Swafford having your address or phone number?
He has my phone number because my daughter gave it some, but my address, me and Mr. Swafford, last time he had our daughter and he was visiting me in a hotel, and he just threatened me. He was like, "B.I. bash your head in," or something like that. And when my daughter was 2 days old, me and him got into got into it physically before. That's been years ago, but by him saying that a year ago, I just don't want him to know where I said.
Okay, so you're concerned because he made a direct threat to you in person.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you're asking to communicate using app close so that the court, if needed, could track those messages and they can't be deleted?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. As far as the exchange of the child, do you have a place where you're exchanging Kalia currently, or
Yeah,
are you
I've
wanting?
seen her since I got her. Because she's far. So wherever place he wants to meet up at, I don't mind.
Here's the deal, ma'am. I usually, just to be on the safe side, I usually use the either the sheriff's department, a police department, or the Texas Department of the Highway Patrol, Texas Department of Public Safety. The closest facility to your address is the one I use, and I usually like to go with the sheriff or police department because they're always there 24/7, and they always seem to have really good digital cameras for what's going on outside their facility. So that's what would there be a problem with that?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. You may proceed, Ms. Hubbard.
Which police station is the closest to where you're staying or where you would be exchanging the child at?
I don't know. There's I think there's one. Is that Kareem? I don't know.
Which city you live in, ma'am?
I live in Killeen, Texas.
I always use KPD out on the loop or just off the loop, ma'am. That's what I always use for Killeen. I've had to use them before. They're on Community Boulevard, and I used them before. I had to use it before, and I've actually had a dispute happen during the visitation pickup years ago. And they definitely have great video cameras because I had the appointed lawyer to represent the child and have her get me the video because everybody was saying nope, it was this other person's fault. And like they say in the movie Braveheart, tape don't lie. All right.
Yes, sir.
But then again, in 2024 with AI and everything, I'm not too sure about that anymore. But anyway, let's go ahead and finish this one up, folks. Sorry. The judge digressed.
Miss Wheeler, are you comfortable with Mr. Swafford providing the health insurance and dental insurance for Kalia?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are you requesting any retroactive child support at this time?
That's me through you guys. I don't know exactly what that means. I think I know. That means like it goes through you and then to me, like a third party?
No, ma'am. This would be back child support. So
no, ma'am. No, ma'am. Since I've been having her, he has been paying something. No, ma'am.
Okay. Is there anything that you and I haven't talked about that you want the court to consider today?
No, ma'am.
I pass witness.
I do. No, ma'am. I do want to see, like when he does get her, I do get her back, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that's the part of the court order says
yes.
you are to turn the child over at the beginning of the visitation. These are to return the child at the end of the visitation. And violations of that is, yeah, there's criminal things out there for that. And for failure to follow court order for visitation and child support can be the party can be held in contempt and sentenced to 180 days in county jail. So yes, ma'am, there is all part of the order. Okay.
Okay, yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. The state can call the next witness, please.
Your Honor, the state would like to call Alton Swafford. Sir, will you state your name for the record?
My name's Alton Swafford.
Excuse me, sir. I'm sorry I mispronounced your name. Do you agree that you're the father of Kalea Swafford?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And are you requesting any DNA testing today?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
All right. Are you in agreement that you and Miss Wheeler can make decisions that are in Kalea's best interest so you could both be joint managing conservators?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are you in agreement with the standard possession order, as you might have heard me describe earlier, with the 1 weekend a month, the 30 days in the summer, the every spring break, like the judge corrected me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Or you, as you and Miss Wheeler agree, you can always agree to something different. It's just in the absence of an agreement.
I just want to, there won't be no problems with me getting my child. Over the course of the years, like I say, well, first and foremost, I didn't threaten her. I probably cursed.
Sir, here's the deal. You're going way past the question. We'll get down that in just a moment. But for right now, again, like I said earlier, it's all part of the court order. She has to turn the child over at the proper times. You have to return the child at the proper times. Obviously, with the distance travel, there may be some problems getting there to 6 o'clock straight up. But again, we'll tend to that. But for right now, the state will continue with questioning, and we'll get to that point you were trying to get to, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
And what city do you currently live in, sir?
I live in Baytown, Texas.
And are you in agreement with providing medical and health or medical and dental insurance for Kalea through your work?
Yes, ma'am.
And you estimate, and I believe Miss Wheeler agrees that it's probably appropriate to give you about $350 credit for the amount that you pay for those health insurance and dental insurance?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. As far as exchanges, would you be? Do you have any concerns regarding Miss Wheeler not turning over the child, or has there been an instance in the past where that's happened?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. During the duration of my child's life, we never went, had custody of her, and it was always back and forth. Like I said, my child's 14, she'll be 15 on the 24th, and I've had her, excuse me, I've had her for at least 7.5 to 8 years of her life, and I've had her within the past 3 years. Always enroll in school, always make sure my daughter have everything she need. Courtney just recently picked her up. I enrolled her in school out here in August, and her and her mom had a discussion, and she came and got her in September. And I really don't be knowing when she do come get her, because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I over the course of years I don't want to turn her over.
All right, here's good, Mr. Swafford. You're going way past the question. I understand. I think you're trying to tell me that you had custody of the child until earlier last year, or late last year. But
I just want to get some clarity, because I never done this before. And I don't know.
That's not the way it works. You're a witness right now, and the only thing you can answer right now is the questions that the state has asked you. If you don't think we didn't cover something, then I'm going to allow you to make that kind of statement at the end of the hearing, sir. But for right now, you just have to listen to the question and only answer the question that's asked, and we'll get down to the other things, sir. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm making sure. I'm looking at the man that may be messing up, but anyway. You may proceed at this time, Ms. Hubbard. Thank you.
So when
All right.
you said,
And so I'm sorry, the last question, sir, is the mother's requesting that we set up exchanges of the child at a neutral site for the visitation package that you're allowed to have under the state of Texas court order. Is there a problem with that?
If that's what she wants, I'm okay with it. Excuse me.
All right, thank you. You may proceed.
I guess I just want to clarify. So when Miss Wheeler came and got Kalia in September, you both agreed to that?
No, ma'am. I didn't know. I didn't know about it.
You didn't know that she took her, or I'm not understanding your answer.
That's what I was trying to explain. Like I said, this happened over the course of the year, so like she'll just come get her. You know what I'm saying? And like I know right now my child is of age, and you know she wanted to be with her mother, but I didn't know about it. You know, she'll come see her, and I'll let her come see her every month. And I didn't know until she was in Killeen, Texas. You know, I didn't even know. You know, because I was calling to come get my daughter because I'll let them have their time when she'll come pick them up. And when I was calling for, I was like, Khalil got to go to school in the morning, and she was like, I'm gonna drop off. I was like, it's late, you know, because I normally have her in bed for like 9 o'clock, and she told me she was like, well, she not coming, and I was like, where y'all at? And that's when she put my daughter on the phone, and she was like, well, you know, Dad, I want to be with Mama, and I said, where you at? She said, we're in Killeen.
And you didn't have any prior orders in place saying who was the primary person?
No, ma'am, we never did. Like, you know, well, I don't know what to say and what not to say right now.
Okay, thank you. You did answer my question. As far as child support calculations, where are you working right now, sir?
I'm working at Barson. Man, for the worker, ma'am, I really don't have a problem with y'all calculations. I was just trying to make an understanding of, you know, my job lay off a lot. It's the pipe industry, and it's all about like the election or gas prices, and a lot of times, which she had a higher calculation at first, but she's seen during the duration of certain quarters. Well, like I have like 20 hours or something like that. Right now, I'm working a lot of overtime because I work for a Turkish company, and a lot of the guys, they go home for Ramadan, which that was like a couple months ago, or like right now they have a war going on, and we're able to get like right now longer hours, but they lay off a lot, and you can call my job and verify it, ma'am. But I was just saying, like, you know, I didn't want it to be a problem when you know, me trying to pay or if I was trying to look for a job, because sometimes I'll be on.
Wait a second. Here's the deal. Okay. How long have you been at this current with this current company?
For 2 years, sir.
All right, and you have 2 years of income tax returns for those. You have 2 years worth of income tax returns, sir?
No, sir. I have back taxes to pay right now.
So you did not file your 2023 or your 2022 taxes?
No, sir. I doing it.
Okay,
no, sir.
No, sir. You answered my question.
No, sir.
All right, then. But the person who's working your case did bring up your quarterly, what you have earned quarterly over the last since you've been with this job. Is that correct?
Yeah, what they have. I don't have no problem with it, sir. I'm good with it. I was just trying to explain.
Yeah, I know it changes, but when it changes like that, we take we do the average for the last 2 years. That's why I was asking about those income tax returns. And if it looks like it's going to be something that may change in the near future, I can go ahead and just make this a temporary order and bring you folks back in about 90 to 120 days to see whether or not everything's still the same, sir. So you can ask the court to do that, but I'll let the state get into that with you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Mr. Swafford, do you anticipate there being less hours or less overtime for you to work in the near future?
Yes, sir. I mean, yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
What situation is going to occur that's going to have that happen?
Oh, and you can call my job and verify, but around election time, work it gets slow, and it's all about like in the in the off and pipe industry is all about election time and who get elected and stuff like that.
And so you're anticipating sometime in November that your job may fluctuate or you may have to find another job?
Yes, ma'am. But as for right, I'm cool with it, ma'am. I'm cool with it. I don't want to give y'all. I don't want to give nobody no fight or seem like it's a problem. I have no problem taking care of my kid. I always took care of my kid.
Okay. So we had calculated based on, I think we used the 2-year average of your wages and came up with a guideline support amount of $1,078. So is that what you're agreeing with today?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you have any other children under the age of 18?
No, ma'am. She's my only child.
Okay. And let's see. She already has your last name. I've passed witness, Your Honor.
All right, then, so Swafford, election is kind of still about 6-7 months off, but I usually only make temporary orders till for a certain time, 5 to 6 months, and that's still further off, and it takes us some time for the administration to change. So it's probably early next year before you know whether or not you need to change anything. But if you do, you always have the right to come back in and ask this court to update their child support based on extreme senior circumstances, like you losing a job or having to go to another job for lesser pay. But for right now, I've got to look at going ahead and taking a snapshot of where we are today. I'm looking at, again, at this point, naming you both joint managed conservators, looking at giving your mom the right to decide domicile. I'm going to restrict that right to the state of Texas. That way, your daughter will be always somewhere at least close enough for you to have visitation. I'm looking at the standard visitation package, which means coming up, long distance as far as you live, sir. The normal visitation is only 1 weekend a month, but you do get 42 days in the summer, and your 42 days will start usually the first day of the 18th day of June. But I can go ahead and look at the calendar and make sure that exchange takes place for pickup and drop off on a weekend, which will make it easier. It may not come out to exactly 42 days, but it'll be as close as 42 days as possible. And then, of course, you get the standard visit. You get the holidays and every spring break. So is there anything else you specifically asking me to do here, sir? And I'm going to go back to mom in a moment. I was just wondering about the welfare of my child. Sometimes because I can't, she won't let me communicate with her. Sometimes. Okay, here's the deal, sir. I'm going to order electronic visitation with the child twice a week, and I'm going to order it through the parenting app called AppClose. So mom needs to set it. The child has her own cell phone, and mom needs to make sure this is set up on that. Actually, she has to use mom's, and the mom needs to make sure it's set up on hers. But every Sunday that you don't have the child with you at 6 p.m., I'll allow you to have court-ordered visitation with the child, FaceTime with the child for 1 hour. If you can keep a teenager on the phone that long, that's fine. And on Wednesdays during the week at 6 o'clock again, but for 30 minutes on Wednesday, and I'll make that part of the court order so you can get some FaceTime with the child. There's a FaceTime function in the app, the parenting app, that I'm going to order both of you to get. And so that way, and mom's not allowed to, not allowed to interfere with that conversation in any manner, way, shape, or form. That's part of the court order. And like I said, you'll get the live visitation with your child, sir, and the FaceTime visits with the child. However, for the one on Sunday, will require you to give mom at least 48 hours advance notice through AppClose that you're going to do your visitation at that time. Because you're not. Do you go out to the field and sir, or do you have a regular 8 to 5 o'clock job?
No, sir. I work long hours. Like I've got to work today at 7 o'clock. I ain't go to sleep yet, and I got to go back to work at 7. So
Okay, sir. Well, again, I'm trying to see whether or not that you'll be able to do your
a lot of times,
FaceTime visits on Sunday and Wednesday.
yes.
All right, and again, just let mom know you're going to do it, and she has to have make the child available for you on those times. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Any other questions, sir? Ma'am, I'll
No,
be you
sir.
in just a moment. Any other questions, sir?
No, sir.
All right, ma'am, you're back up. You have questions. Again, I'm looking at, I'm putting y'all both on the parenting app Close. You're gonna have to download it, put it on your device. If the child has a device, put it on her device, and let her talk to her dad on those time frames as far as the FaceTime is concerned. And I am looking at going ahead and ordering everything else. And I will, if y'all can't agree to a spot to exchange the child, then I will order the child exchange at the KPD out on Community Boulevard. So, ma'am, do you have any questions?
No, sir. No, sir.
All right, then. All right. Does the child have her own cell phone? I'm sorry, ma'am.
I'm sorry. And would y'all come to your house? So would it be a code that she have to put on her phone and through the app? Because I already have the app downloaded on my phone. I downloaded it earlier today, but I ain't downloaded on hers. Is there a code or something I have to put down, or would y'all give it to me first?
Does she have her own? She has her own cellular device, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, then. And Android or Apple?
It's an Apple.
All right, then. And sir, what kind of device do you have?
Android.
All right, then. All right, then. You'll need to download that to her device, ma'am, where she can. Or sir, I'm sorry. Have you and your daughter done any type of FaceTime visits with her on her cell phone, sir?
I talk to her a lot. Like I ain't wanted it to be no big mess. I talk to her. I talk to her every day.
Do y'all use a video chat function anywhere, sir?
Yes.
Which one do y'all use?
We'll use like the Facebook app.
All right, then I'll not to put anything extra on her phone. I don't want her having access to y'all's information. So I'll order him to go ahead and make those visits on, continue to make those visits on Facebook using that or anything he and your daughter agreed to, ma'am. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But for your communication with him, it has to be through App Close. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any other questions, then, Ms. Wheeler?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Swafford, any questions, sir?
I have to download App Close.
Yes, sir. That's for your communications with Ms. Wheeler, okay? Going forward. And she'll sign up for it and she'll send you the request. Make sure the request is sent to you to make sure you get logged in on that same account. And right now I'm gonna go ahead and look at the calendars. So you're entitled to 42 days this summer, sir. Let me bring this. Okay. For the summer visitation, let me bring up. That's my calendar messing with me. All right, let me bring up the calendar. June the 28th is on a Friday, so this year. So instead of June the 28th for pickup, sir, I will order for this coming summer. You get the 42 days. Next year, you can pick which 42 days you want. But for this summer, your your pickup will be at 12 noon on June the 29th. And like I said, it needs to be at the, and I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and make it 1 p.m. That way you don't have to be out on the road too crazy early coming in from Baytown. So I'll make it at 1 p.m. at the Killeen Police Department. And the drop back off of the child at the end of visitation will be Saturday, July 27th at 1 p.m. All right.
Okay.
Put that information in there. And again, the exchange to take place at KPD off of Community Boulevard. You can Google that. And like I said, you'll pick up and drop off your daughter at that location, sir. And like I said, I'm going to do it on a Saturday like that. So you don't have to worry about traffic as much because I went to law school in Houston, and Saturday is the easiest day to travel between Houston and here because Sundays is heck. I know that one for a fact. And Fridays are bad. So, all right. Any other questions? Anything else, Mr. Swafford?
No, sir.
All right, Ms. Wheeler, any questions about the summer visitation or anything else?
No, sir.
All right, Ms. Hubbard, anything else on this one?
Your Honor, I just want to make sure I got all the ruling. Joint managing conservatorship, mom, geographic restriction to Texas, a standard possession order for this summer, the visitation, pickup and drop off, as you just said, at KPD, electronic visits twice a week through the Facebook app or agreed platform, 6 p.m. Sunday for an hour, Wednesday for 30 minutes. App closed for parties to communicate. Miss Wheeler can't interfere with the conversation between Mr. Swafford and his daughter. Child support of $1,078 to start June 1st. Medical insurance and dental insurance through Mr. Swafford's employer. No retroactive was requested, and is the court granting non-disclosure?
I really didn't hear enough to grant non-disclosure. I don't think I didn't hear anything about family violence within the last 2 years, so I don't think I can grant that. So, Ms. Wheeler, has there been any type of family violence between you and Mr. Swafford over the last 2 years?
Physically, no. I promise you, no. I was going back from when she was first born, but when I went to see her in Baytown, my baby's father was in my hotel room dropping off, and we got in a verbal we was fussing, and he told me he'll smash my effing head in. And what he did when she was 3 days old, he smashed my head in, and I didn't leave my room. He would not leave my hotel room. So that right there, I really don't want him because.
Okay, well,
I promise you.
It's good, ma'am.
Before that, I'm sorry, sir. I apologize.
You need to stop. Here's the deal, ma'am. Non-disclosure deals with each party knowing each other's address, okay? Parents need to know where children are located. I'm going to go ahead and order that be maintained. But again, I'm going to go ahead and order the exchanges of the child because of that one past incident will be at the Killeen Police Department or the closest PD to where you live, ma'am. Main office, not one of the satellite offices. So if you say you moved to Austin, Texas, then you need to let the dad know where the police station is for the exchange going forward. But for right now, again, I need an actual incident that's less than 2 years old. But I will. I think what was said was sufficient enough for me to order the exchange in a neutral spot, but not sufficient enough for me not to order that the parties are not allowed to have each other's address information. So, ma'am, Ms. Wheeler, anything else? Any other question about that, ma'am?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Hubbard, anything else on that?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
And one final time, Mr. Swafford, anything else, sir?
No, sir.
All right, good luck to all of y'all, and allow the state to go ahead and prepare that order. Again, yeah, Mrs. Swafford, when they turn 12, they can start making their choices of the way they want to be. If she ever decides, this time next year, I'll maybe sit here and she may want to come back with you. That's just the luck of the draw, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank y'all both very much. And I'll go ahead and let the state prepare that order and give it to you. We're off the record.